Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
I always love having Dana Camp in here, just for the obvious reasons, but also you smell like clean laundry all the time. Like you always smell. There are certain people that when they walk in the room, who else is one of them? Nick. Nick, who works here, smells clean, like laundry, like.
It's like, well, the other day I pulled a sweatshirt out. I hang my sweatshirts, whatever. I pulled one out of the closet, right? And it was near the back.
Yeah.
And instantly could smell, it was Gain.
Mm-hmm.
That Gain smell. I love that smell.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, wow. And I haven't worn it forever, but it still had that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got Gain. Yes. I was going to say flavored. It's not flavored. Gain scented kitty litter.
Yeah, I've got that too.
So it's kind of a
little overpowering.
It's a little overpowering, but it's a double-edged sword because before you didn't know when they just pooped. Now when they smell like Gain, they just got out of the bathroom.
That's it.
And it smells like your clothes now.
Yes,
So
but it smells good.
It smells good though. It does. Yeah. But it smells like kitty litter.
It does. It smells, now my clothes smell like kitty litter.
Well, mine has to be shampoo or something because we use zero scented everything because my granddaughter has skin issues.
Yep.
So we can't have any.
Well, it must be your hair then, because it's something.
Got to be. Yeah. And there's a lot of hair.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
Traps a lot of those aromas.
Oh my God. Now, if somebody doesn't know who you are, how do you describe yourself?
Amazing. No. I'm hilarious. I can still be gentle and deliver information you don't want to hear.
Super awesome. Smell good.
Yeah, I smell amazing. Sparkly blue eyes, a little fairy-like. I don't know.
There you go.
I just help people understand themselves better and accept themselves.
Would you say numerologist?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, that's probably my shtick, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Intuitive numerologist, perception coach. That's what I call myself.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out.
Did you invent that?
Yeah, I did.
That's really, you need to whatever with that. Trademark it?
Trademark it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
We'll Google that.
I'm sure there are many of us. But, and I've had people go, ooh, that matches me. And I go, it's mine, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm the first. I'm the first perception coach because really that's what I do. I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I'm just helping them shift the way they look at things to bring more joy into their life, right?
Put another set of eyes on it.
Yeah. Well, just
with a neutral.
Yeah. With the numerology, I sit into their energy, whatever their chart is, and I go, how does it feel to be this person? Mm-hmm. And then I go, oh, yeah, wow, okay, that would hurt, and this would. So how do I help them understand themselves in a way that they can shift into more alignment with their higher self, I guess, would be a good way to put it, to shift into the path that would bring them on
using
more
your
acceptance.
assets, like it's always playing to your strong points.
Right.
As opposed to I want to be a writer so bad. I want to write a book, and I can't write worth crap. But you keep beating yourself up trying to do it. And it's a struggle. Yeah. And it's like, wait, you actually probably have a talent.
What are your strengths?
And a strength that you should play into.
But then I can help you take your challenges and turn those into strengths.
Nice.
Right?
But you have to identify it.
Everything is a gift. You just have to know how to get all of your frequencies to work together to be the best version of yourself.
Speaking of frequencies, a podcast I listened to, they were mentioning the other day something about vibrations lately. And a lot more people being aware. And sensing things and feeling differently now that they're aware of how things work and that everything has a vibration.
Yep.
And now that you're aware, you feel things that you felt them before, but you couldn't identify it. And the last week or so has been crazy.
Yeah. It's been a little ungrounded.
Has it? I mean, it's not just me, right? I mean, it's like
a little off.
Like not squarely flat-footed on the ground.
Squirrel.
Thank you.
Squirrel energy.
Oh,
like your attention is like divided. It's like you can't focus. It's like you're all over the board and you're like, I need to find a path.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like this morning when I threw in your address and and then Google Maps corrected it to just straight up Omaha. And so I just autopiloted, I'm like, oh, whatever
you were
it
thinking
says.
About other
whatever
things.
it says, because I'm bad with directions, so I just trust Google. Anyway, it took me downtown Omaha instead of here,
so you
which
saw
is the other way.
So when you hit Martha, Did you go?
You're that lady that drives into the lake because Siri said to.
I was like, I don't remember them being by the airport. And then I was like, the airport's like 20 minutes from my house. Why am I so far? I could have swore it was like 10 minutes to their place. Oh, and then I look and it's like 149th. And I was like, son of a bee. I was like, son of a. And then I was like, how long is it going to take me to get there? Because I told them I'd be early. And then I was like,
right on time, though.
25. Well, on time, but not when I said I was going to come early. And I was like, but then I was like, it's okay because everything is in divine timing.
That's
and
right.
whatever reason that I was steered away from my destination was for a reason.
You missed
You know what's
something that
fun?
you
What's
weren't
fun?
supposed
What's
to see,
interesting
Exactly. So I didn't get too stressed out about it. I was just like, gas. Hello.
But it wasn't meant to be because, well, that's true. Right
gas
now,
prices are high. I'm like,
ridiculous. Ouch. Is that we had a meeting pop up. And so we were in a meeting when you walked in.
Right. And I knew everything was happening for a reason.
I mean, really, that's crazy, though.
It's okay.
It is kind of
It's
crazy.
all right. It's all right. Everything is always all right.
He's okay.
So what's on your mind lately? What kind of things are you seeing where people are, besides squirrel energy? Good
Well,
Lord. Now that I know that this is it's not just, I can't focus. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Stuff's just out of.
Well, and remember, we're in a 5-year,
That's right. You've
which
talked about
is
this
the
before.
squirrel. So it is the squirrel.
It's like I feel like this all year.
Yeah. So 5-year is change
Great.
and opportunity, and it can be a little ungrounding, and it can feel restless, and people can be,
Isn't that okay? So uncanny that we had the year we just had last year.
yeah.
And then we're going into a year with this kind of energy.
Yeah. Well, we have to have this.
Have to have it.
It's always this way. So the energy always goes in 1 through 9, 1 through 9, 1 through 9.
So what happened last year? It wasn't specifically what happened was expected, but something.
Oh, it was expected by me.
Okay.
Because 4 energy is all about security and insecurity. And we
Right.
were in an enormous amount of fear as a collective.
Yeah.
And so that's what would come out of fear in a collective in a year of security versus insecurity is basically it's all about foundation, and our foundation was washed out. It was like we built everything on sand, and what we did have had a crack in it. And so it was like drawing our attention to the things that weren't working so that in a year of 5, right on its heels, we could make the changes, right?
Okay.
That makes sense.
So we're early in this year, first quarter, just about wrapped up. That's hard to believe that we're already this
Right.
far into this year.
Well, it actually started, like the energy started to shift in September.
My goodness.
Into this 5 energy. So the 4 and 5 were, energy's always in flow,
Yeah, it did.
right? It
It
never
did.
stops and starts. So it's like right around the election, we started to see the shift for change. And even though he wasn't president yet, he had already started laying the work and the plans for taking over
For what he was gonna
in the
be
first
doing.
of the year, right? So he was
Okay.
already like, the shift was already in motion.
Yeah. It's not like come full stop and then wait for the
it
green
never
light.
does. Energy's always in motion.
Interesting.
Did he even know that he was making those? I'm just kidding.
No, stop it.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Stop it.
I'll edit that out.
Anyway,
Everything
so
is how it's supposed to be. I know. Just
it just
step
is.
out of resistance
Yes.
because it only hurts you.
That's
There
right.
you go. You should have,
right.
I should have a pillow that says
Seriously. The poster on the wall with a cat hanging on says step out of resistance because it only hurts you.
So that kind of brings me to what I was thinking we could talk about
Yeah.
today, which is our beliefs and then arguing for our limits.
that. Yeah.
Because I can tell somebody something and it'll either resonate or it will conflict with their belief system. And if it conflicts with their belief system, they will immediately start arguing for the limits
Right.
of their belief without realizing it.
Yes. Yes. And that happens. It doesn't matter what you believe. It happens to anybody and everybody
it's-
it can happen to.
And it's stuff that's not even yours, right? Because our beliefs
Exactly.
are so deeply rooted. It's like it's ancestral roots. It's stuff that's been in your DNA. Like our beliefs are actually embedded in our DNA. People don't realize that, but your belief about yourself and whether you can be better than the people who came before you.
Right.
I watch my guilty pleasure, American Idol. I love American Idol.
Oh my goodness.
And there's contestants on there and they
Yeah.
they verbalize their limiting beliefs all the time. I'm not allowed to be better than I am. I'm not allowed to have this. I'm not allowed
Right.
to win. I don't deserve to be here. I'm not worthy. So all of these limiting beliefs actually get in your head and then you manifest them, right? She didn't believe she deserved to be there. And guess what? She's not now.
No, she's not.
You know,
That's probably the biggest way that people lose is they don't even expect to win. They don't even think they deserve to win.
They don't dream big. But there's so many things working against them in their programming, right? Because everything's a program. What you believe a man and a woman is, what you believe our roles as a man and a woman are, those are limiting beliefs. We know that they're not true, and people have been rallying against that for 50 more years, right? Like, think about, we couldn't be anything but a secretary or a mom, or a nurse. And now look at us. We're anything. We're anything we want to be now. But that took 50 years to break that belief system. And we're still rallying against it. Yeah. Because it's not just our belief. Everyone has to get on board with that collective belief.
And that's the whole world.
Yeah.
That's the whole
human race.
And some places are far behind.
Right.
Where we are.
Right. Other different countries. Crazy. And where does that come from? That's another belief system. That is a cultural or a religious belief system that holds people prisoner, right?
And some people even go so far that the religions were devised in order to
create that.
Right.
But if you say that to somebody who strongly believes in that religion, you will see them argue for the limits.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true. You're right, they do. And they don't even realize what they're doing. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's with anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Whatever you strongly hold.
Yep. So it's about,
you don't want to question.
Digging into when you meet that resistance to something, going, oh, that's mine. Like if I'm triggered, that's mine. That's for me to work on. If you make me upset, that has nothing to do with you. It has to do with my limiting beliefs and me fighting against those beliefs.
Yep.
With what you said.
Yep.
That's very true.
And for some people, it's more comfortable to argue that than to move past it.
So that requires you to become self-aware.
Yeah.
And to think outside of your belief system. That can be really challenging for people because it's uncomfortable.
And it also causes some major disruptions in families.
Right, because what happens when you go against what the collective is, like every time someone tries to step outside of the collective attacks them and tries to integrate them back in. It's like the Borg.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
You will be assimilated.
Yeah.
You will be assimilated.
Yes.
You will assimilate or we will destroy you. But every single person, look back in history, every single person that was a wackadoo who had something outside the collective box to say eventually became a breaker. They broke the system, right? Like, look at Tesla.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tesla's a great example, and he rolls right into this frequency stuff we were talking about.
Oh, my gosh. Right? Oh, my gosh, yes.
Frequency is the future of medicine. It is what heals us, right? It's just that we have to get past those belief systems that make us think we need a pill.
So it take a couple generations to get those flushed out?
Probably
it's up
5
to
or
us.
6.
It's up to us.
Yeah, a lot.
And it's always going to matter. It's about awareness, right? And it's also in our society, it's about our culture and it's about capitalism and it's about what the group believes. Like if we believe that it's about money and power and position, right, which is capitalism, really.
Right. It is.
Yeah.
And to a degree about choice.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the freedom to make choices and you're told this is the way you do it and this is what you can choose from, then you're right back where you started. Because you're limited.
Well, black and white thinking is limited.
Yes.
So when you hear people arguing about anything, politics, religion, culture, whatever you want to argue about, whatever, it's your beliefs that you're arguing for. That black and white thinking is a dead end, right? You're not in a place of
because everything
awakening
is not,
or awareness.
That's
or
crazy.
Being
what do
open.
they call that? The prison of two ideas. Is what that is. That this is only your options, and it's not. It's a combination of the two.
Right. So, like, I look at socialism and capitalism. One, they've both been labeled, and so people have assigned this belief about them. So, if you ask somebody who doesn't go beyond their programming, they're not going to understand how things have grown and changed since Hitler.
Right.
Socialism is
Although
not
his
the
name,
same.
His name
as
gets
it
passed
used to
around
be.
a lot.
Right, because a lot of our stuff
Yeah.
is socialism, and
Yeah.
we're like, no socialism. Okay, do you understand that you already have
We
socialism?
have
Do
a
you already
ton
know
of it
that?
in this country.
So when people argue capitalism versus socialism, right? That's a black and white topic, but it's not, because what if we take the best of both of them and blend them together and create something completely new? It's just that we get really stuck on labels.
Yep.
We get
true.
so
In every aspect of our life.
gosh,
Every
yes.
aspect.
Yeah.
So when you think about yourself, and someone says, "Well, who are you?" and you name, well, I'm a mom and a daughter and a wife and a
And what do all those
sister and
words
a-
mean?
and a friend, and but in reality, if you came here and you don't have, like, your nature is not to be nurturing, but yet you're still a mom, you still had babies, you might feel that you're not a very good one. Or others might see you and judge you and say you're not a good mom because you don't do mom things. But you didn't come here to do mom things.
Right.
You came here to be you.
That's a really good point, because people, if they can't fit you in the box, you aren't good at it. And remember, I mean, divorce went through that. Just being divorced.
Well, the stigma.
You don't even want to talk. I mean, I remember when one of my cousins got divorced in the Catholic family that he was in, and the last person he told was his mom. And was dreading. And I'm like, and I remember he's older than me. And I remember that I was a teenager, I think, when it happened. And it was just and that wasn't that long ago, but they were deeply rooted, whatever.
Rooted.
Whatever. Beliefs in that family is that he knew.
Yep.
And that would not be accepted.
Same with, I know.
Or remarriage.
I have lots of
Yeah,
clients
was the
who
other
come
thing,
to
too.
me that it's taboo for them to talk to me about what I do.
Wow.
They still come to me, but I visibly can see how nervous they are.
Yeah.
Sitting in front of me, like they feel like they feel guilty and shamed and embarrassed and worried and scared just because they're talking to me.
Right.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, all that stuff. You think about the stigmas.
Yeah, and
That
that's
go
just
along with the labels.
But here's but they're talking to me still, right?
Yeah.
So somewhere inside of them, they know that their beliefs don't resonate with them.
Right. It's something doesn't feel right about
It's
it.
courageous.
Yeah.
It's what it is. When somebody decides to step outside their box of beliefs and they're open-minded enough and they sense that there's something valuable that somebody that doesn't believe those things has to share with them, that is absolute courageousness to step into yourself.
It is actually following your gut.
Yeah.
And trusting your instincts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is really scary.
Because then if you do trust your gut, whatever, and you go and it's the wrong decision, people are so
It's on
scared that
you.
they don't want. Yeah, it's 100%. They can't blame anyone else. It's because
Yep.
I did this because my parents wanted me to be a vet, so it's their fault. Whatever. If they make that decision on their own, they're screwed. They're out on that island by themselves.
And they use their beliefs as a scapegoat as well. When they do something they shouldn't do, they'll use it as their scapegoat. Well, that's just my religion.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that hatred part of that? I
that
don't
part
think
of
so.
that?
I feel like every religion is rooted in a foundation of love,
Yeah.
and then
But
it's
it's-
twisted by us creating rules,
Yeah.
right?
Because of the power that goes along with being in charge.
Right.
And it's like, who do you allow to be in charge? Why did they get to be in charge? Why did they get to
Right.
decide? You know, it's like when you see
Why-
we're going to allow blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, who are you to?
Right.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Why am I following your words?
When you can talk to God yourself, or source, or
your
universe,
whoever
or
it
whatever, I don't even, honestly, like, to me, it doesn't matter to me what your beliefs are. It doesn't matter. I'm glad you have a belief in
I've been
something.
following
Faithlessness, having no faith is worse.
Yeah.
Is 1,000 times worse than having faith in something.
right.
So
That, the Scientology podcast with, I can't say her name right
Leah
now.
Remedy?
Thank you. I had it in my head and it went away. Has been eye-opening because it's one man who created this religion and then they indoctrinated and separated families and shunned, disqualified. The Amish do it.
yeah, all of the religions do
All
it.
of them do it. I mean, from one end of the spectrum to the other,
And it's conditional.
it's conditioning,
love.
right?
Right. What gets
Yeah.
me is the ones
Bottom
is
line.
the
Conditional love.
It
religions
is.
that preach love,
Yeah.
love, inclusion, unless you don't believe what we believe. Then you're out of here.
Right.
Then
Right.
you're out. You're thrown out. We don't
Right.
love you.
Yeah.
But if you believe what we
If
believe,
you-
then you're good.
If you don't join us, totally going to hell.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Totally.
You're out. Like,
Yep.
I can't even talk to you. Like,
Yep.
some religions are like, if you leave the church, we aren't even allowed to associate with you. We
Yeah.
shouldn't even make eye contact with you if we see you on the street because we're going to heaven and you're not.
My ex-in-laws, well, it's a long time. Well, they got divorced a long time ago, like 25, 30 years ago. It was a Christian church here in town. The whole family went to this church, and as soon as they separated, they were kicked out of the church because of the divorce, the separation, and the stigmata, whatever it would bring to the church.
Rules.
So it was just crazy, though, that this church is a very high profile church.
Interesting.
And yeah, they're like, that's it. Their friends, they got kicked out of Bible studies. Their friends bailed on them. And
It's like, what messaging are you sending?
How does that even seem
You're trying
right?
to intimidate the other members by making an example
problem-
of this family.
Yeah.
The problem is not questioning it.
Yeah.
The ones that just blindly go along with things without questioning it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So this is where rules equals conditional love versus everyone's worthy, love everyone equally. We're all sparks of source and God, and we're all equally valuable. Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
So everything that is limiting belief is conditional love. Think about it. Like, you don't get good grades, your parents don't love you. They're disappointed in you.
They're disappointed.
So basically it's conditional. They'll love you and they'll praise you.
Yeah, that's the fine line.
If you make the team, if you get
'Cause some
past the
parents
test,
cross
if
that
you
line.
get into this
Yeah.
college, if you, right, there's all these, like,
If you're straight, if you marry,
yes.
I mean, I had a friend of mine that was terrified to come out to his family, and just something that I've never walked in those shoes, so I don't understand what that would be like to be terrified to tell your family something, for fear that they would kick you out of the family.
Well, and that's what limiting beliefs, arguing, like beliefs is everything that controls whether somebody is somebody you can respect or not.
Yeah,
See, that's a hard thing to let go of, because it's like, well, what am I supposed to base this on? And it's like, because they've always based things on, they had their criteria, and so you're going to take all that away. But now, how do I know if you're a good person? If you don't fit my criteria.
What if you don't need to
What if you
judge
don't need
that,
criteria?
right? What if you don't need to judge a person? What if everybody's just worthy and we just decide whether somebody is in alignment with us or not?
And we know that. You know that when you walk in the room sometimes.
Yeah.
When you see somebody, you
you
instantly
can tell.
sometimes can feel that.
Not an
The
alignment.
pull, the attraction, or
repel.
Or repel.
Right.
yeah.
There's
For whatever reason, they don't feel right. Whatever. Yeah.
You know that when she walks in the room,
So
how it
full
just feels.
circle.
Yeah.
Frequency.
And listening to that,
That's what that is.
And we're right back to this, that was at the top of the show, is that's what you're sensing, your frequency, and you got to trust your gut.
So
and not rely on all these other.
And numerology is that.
yeah.
Numerology is labels for frequency. So
This is great.
when I meet somebody that I feel resistance against, I immediately want to correct that and I want to understand them better.
Yeah.
So I will ask them what their birthday is so that I can understand why they are choosing what they're choosing. And then I can be in total acceptance of it. My fear is, that's my fear if it's triggering me that I don't appreciate something about someone.
Right.
If I understand, they're just super organized and they just really need things to be a certain way, I can respect that. It's not the way I roll, but I get it.
You can see, yeah.
Right? I can accept them that way.
Have you ever met someone where you know their birthday, you're reading them based on their numbers, and their personality or what the vibe you're getting from them doesn't match that at all? Where you're like, I feel great around this person, or I feel terrible around this person, but their birthday says the complete opposite of what they should be doing. Does that ever happen?
No.
That's crazy.
Because everything comes down to where that person's coming from, right? So there's a spectrum for every frequency, right? Fear and love are the opposite ends of each other.
Yeah.
So when I look at where they're at, I go, okay, where are they at? Are they in their fear? Because that's not going to feel good to me. That's going to be somebody who's, coming from their victim.
Yeah.
Somebody who's blaming everyone outside of them. Someone who isn't taking responsibility. Somebody who needs me to fill their cup every day. Rather, somebody that's taking ownership, standing in their power,
Right.
owning what they're choosing, right? And doing it from a place of self-love and being okay with people who aren't agreeing with them. And that's okay. It's going to be really hard to upset me.
Yeah.
It's because I just accept everybody where they are. And I go, I see where you're at, and it's okay to be there. There's no criteria you have to meet for me to care about you.
Do you think that's because I'm the same way? You have to do something really bad to upset me. Is that because I feel very confident in who I am? I believe what I believe, but I don't put that on anybody else. So therefore, it's like whatever you do, as long as you don't physically hurt me or my children, whatever, do whatever you're going to do. And you think that kind of stems from yourself?
Yeah, self-acceptance. Because everything is an inside job, right? Yeah. So if you love and accept and you're gentle with yourself, when you see other people who aren't in alignment with you, you can extend that to them without having to reject them, right? Because when you reject somebody, you're rejecting a part of yourself that you don't want to look at.
Ooh, that's true, right?
Yeah. If somebody triggers me, I go, why do you trigger me? What part of me is unhealed that aggravates that part of me that I don't want to look at? And it's always something you want to bury, right? I call that your shadow work, right? That stuff that's in your shadow closet, you're like, I'm putting that away. I don't want to look at that or deal with that. And every now and then somebody will come up and they'll poke you in that spot.
And you get fired up.
And it comes right to the front. Yeah. And you go, ooh, what do I need to work on? Because if that person can upset me, which is I gave them the power over my inner peace, that's mine. That's 100% my work. So that is very interesting. That's coming from a place of self-love because I'm taking ownership of it.
Yeah.
Somebody who just dislikes somebody and doesn't want to look at why they dislike them, it doesn't want to look at that. That's just coming from fear then. You're just trying to put people in boxes so you can put them away and you don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
But it's always an inside job.
Which is crazy. I mean, it really is to know that you have that much control, that much power, because you always blame your mood, your whatever, your situation you're in life with everything else around you, your job, your friends, your whatever. But really, if you fix yourself, you look at things differently. So that thing that you had an issue with last week, if you look at it a little differently, maybe it's not an issue anymore.
Right. But then comes in the fear of conditional love. Because we're programmed to believe that our biological family is very, very important. But they're also the ones who came here to challenge us the most. So think of the fear of having to tell your mom something she's not going to like. You already know her belief system. You already know how she's going to reply to this. Yeah. Or you project that you know, because you might not have given her credit for growing. Right?
Right. Oh, true.
We presume a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's because we project. If we don't think that we're acceptable, people will bounce that back to us that we're not. Right? If we don't love ourselves, then people will keep reinforcing whatever we're putting out, which is I'm mousy and I don't feel worthy. And then they're going to go, yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
But without even realizing that that's why they're doing it.
That's okay. So, and that same on a much lower level, lower scale. But when everybody knows that person, that's the life of the party. Yeah. They walk in the room and as soon as they come in, everybody's happy. Yeah. Like they're in a great mood. Is that basically the same thing? Like they put out, or is that sometimes they're hiding? Because I knew somebody that was that person. Walked in, their energy was like this bigger than life character, but they were really sad inside. Yeah. They were just they were a very sad person.
I just immediately think of Robin Williams.
And Chris Farley.
And Chris Farley and Dane Cook. And if you look at the comedians of the world, a lot of them have been very sad and they've tried to hurt themselves many times. Drew Carey. Yeah. Like these are people that we just can't wait for them to open their mouth and bring us joy. Yeah. Right. And the only time they feel that is when we're filling their cup because they still don't know how to fill it for themselves. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's powerful to think about that. But those people are like the chameleons, right? They become whatever the person in front of them needs from them, and that lights them up.
And that helps because they think that they're helping them, or is it strictly that they're reacting and feeding off of the energy they're getting from the other people? Has nothing to do with I love to go in a room and make people happy.
Think
it's
of
the
it
other way
more
around.
as it's more of an instant gratification than a long-term fix.
Okay, got it.
Right? So we're in an instant gratification society. Honestly, everybody wants that instant fix. Yeah. People come in, they want me to, well, tell me what's wrong with me and then fix it. And I'm like, well, I can't fix it. You have to fix it. Yep. But I can help you uncover the beliefs that are preventing you from getting there.
Give them the tools to get there.
I can help you get there, but you're the one that has to do the work. It's self-healing.
And like, what's something, and I know that, it's impossible to do on a 30-minute podcast and you can't fix somebody else, but what's something that somebody can do today that they can start healing themselves? Like, is it more meditation? Is it just downtime? Is it what can they do?
The simplest thing is just to be aware when you're triggered and own that it's yours, not the person that's in front of you.
Because you know what's crazy is that will, not only if you do that will change the people around you and how they react to you, and it just feeds itself.
Yep. And that's, you see people and you know, it's funny. There's so many self-helpers out there, and they have these programs, and they're like, do my program, and your whole life will be better. But the program they've created is the program that worked for them.
Right.
We're all unique. When somebody's like an activator or an influencer, right? They have their gift is to influence and to get people to take action. But what happens after they do that? Well, it's on them to follow up with it. If you're not an influencing activator, their influencing activating program isn't going to be for you.
Yeah.
Because I've been sucked in. Like, influencers are fantastic at getting people excited about something. But then when they're not in front of you, influencing you, you feel this incredible drop off. And you're like, well, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah, right.
Because you're not them.
Like when you're at the Tony Robbins retreat, you're all fired up and ready to run through a wall. But as soon as you get home, you forget all about
fire.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
But then
you're
you
right
get home
on.
and you're like, what do I do with this?
Yeah. You're like, oh, that was fun. And you just kind of drift off.
Well, and you try to get everyone excited about what you've experienced, and they're like, eh.
Yeah.
And you're like,
because you're not the influencer.
Because you're not Tony Robbins.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
That's right.
So it's like, but you're not supposed to try to be Tony Robbins, right? You're supposed to be you.
Yeah.
So you becoming very aware of what's yours and what's not yours is the beginning. It's the self-awareness, and start taking that ownership of the things and start going down your little rabbit hole of, why does this upset me? What limiting belief do I have? What am I arguing for that brings me dissatisfaction? How am I creating disharmony in my life?
Yeah.
How can I create more harmony and less disharmony? And that's by being yourself. But think about the beliefs that get put on us. You come from a family of farmers, you're going to be a farmer. What if you want to be a rock star? What if you want to be a doctor? What if you want to be a cook, right? A chef.
Yeah.
Your family's like, no,
That's not how we do it.
we're an ag family.
Yeah.
When you're an ag family, you get married and you stay married no matter what, and you work the farm until you're dead, right? Like, that's a belief system. And so when somebody goes into that and they step outside that box, that family makes it really difficult.
They're the black sheep. They're the weirdo. They're the crazy person that
Right.
wants to move to Chicago and be in theater. They're the weirdo.
Right. And think about how if you've always based your self-worth on other people's beliefs, you're never going to be happy, because that's not honoring yourself. You're not authentically you. If you want to sing show tunes and tap dance, and your family isn't in that groove, is that become your closet secret? Or do you embrace yourself and do you step outside the box? Here's what every other person on this planet needs from you: the courage to be yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you do it, you give everyone around you permission to do it too.
That's true. You're absolutely right. 100% right.
And they might be in resistance to it at first. So you have to be so sure of yourself. You have to love yourself so much that it doesn't matter what other people think about what you're doing.
You can't be wishy-washy on it, because they'll kill you. They'll go in and get you.
You can't let other people's projections. Nothing's personal and everything is projection when you're in front of anybody. That person is always trying to get you to mirror their belief system so they can feel safe. The bottom line about every person on this planet is every single one of us is trying to get our needs met, to feel safe, to feel loved, to feel accepted. And the thing is we have to do it for ourselves. It's not something that you can get from outside. Not lasting. That's just temporary.
Yep. It's like going shopping when you're having a bad day. It fixes you for about an hour and a half.
And then you get your bill, and then you're like...
Then you're pissed off.
Yeah, I know. Right. So you got to pay attention. Like, are you putting a Band-Aid on this? Are you temporarily feeling better? Or do you want a lasting... Like, why are so many people depressed? Why do so many people have anxiety? Well, they're either living in the past, or they're too focused on the future where they have no power. And being present and in this moment, being aware of yourself, focusing on that's where the joy is. Well, that's where the joy is. Like, the present moment is all you really have.
Yeah.
Nothing else. You have no power anywhere else.
I've thought about that a lot the last couple of months, because my son is he's 18 and he's graduating high school and going to be move, and he's one of those kids that he'd live at home forever. But we're kind of pushing him towards like, listen, these are the best years of your life. College, if you want to go to college, whatever. He's going to be moving out with some buddies in the fall, and so I've realized that now I'm getting anxiety. The kid's going to be moving out, right?
Right.
So and I don't want to look back and remember all the times when he was the cute little cuddly kid. That makes me sad. Right. But then I don't want to look ahead to Christmas time and he's not going to be living at the house. He's going to be on his own. So I'm really trying to focus on the day, even though he's 18, he's at home 20 minutes a day.
Right.
But that 20 minutes, I'm really trying to focus on that time.
Right.
Because I know that it's going to go super fast and he's going to be gone.
Right.
So you're right. I get sad if I look in the past. I get anxious if I look in the future. So focusing on that 20 minutes, it helps.
Right. And when you think about why you want him to not leave, that's you're uncomfortable in change, right?
Yeah.
What will it be like when he isn't here? So we're really thinking about ourselves when we do that too. It's not even really about the other person.
Right.
It's still about us.
Oh yeah. It's about me getting old. It's about me missing time with it. It's a total me thing.
Right.
Because I know that he's gonna have a great time, the time of his life. Those are the best years. So much fun. Mm-hmm. So I'm super happy for him, but I know all those other feelings are all on me.
And he'll still need you, right?
Yeah.
Like part of that is they don't need us anymore.
Right.
Like my daughter and her fiance have decided they bought a shuttle bus and they're turning it into one of those ones that you can drive across the country.
Fun.
In. So they've gutted this thing. And when they first told me that they were going to be done with it in 6 weeks and they were going to leave, they also have a 6-month-old baby, my only grandchild.
Oh, man.
And they live with us, right now.
Oh, so you're having a triple whammy then.
So I'm like, oh.
You're freaking out.
So I freaked out for about, I don't know, I was in resistance to it for like 3 days.
Yeah.
But then I was like, look at the gratitude, look at the things that I'm going to gain as well. Mm-hmm. Like there's, and me being happy for them, and then me realizing that this was best for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Because who wants everything? I mean, people have to grow.
Yeah. Because with growth, you get new adventures, you get new experiences,
right.
You get all that stuff. So yeah, you're 100% right.
And I can't. And the other thing is I had to look at where I have power. I don't have any power over them. Mm-mm. Only me and my reaction. So if I want to pout for 3 days, that's on me.
Right.
And it was, and I was okay with that. I'm like, I
need to sit in this for a second.
I am. I'm gonna. And that's the other thing is like we think we always have to be positive and upbeat and but we're here to experience the whole roller coaster of emotions. And so I was like, I just need to sit with this. I just need to allow this, because being in resistance doesn't change it. What did I do? I created static between me and her. Mm-hmm. Because I was in resistance to what she wanted to do. I created stress for both of us.
Yeah.
Right? So when I finally stepped into acceptance, it got better. But like, don't discount those times when you get to lean into discomfort.
And when they drive away for that in 5 weeks or whenever it is, I'm sure you're going to probably sit in it for a little bit too, because they're gone.
Right.
But it'll be fine.
Right. But they're actually not going now. They're saving up their money, because like that was another anxiety for me. It was like I wanted them to be fully prepared for this adventure, mm-hmm. and I didn't feel like they were ready yet financially. But then they came to that conclusion on their own, and so they're staying for at least another year.
Okay, that's good.
So I'm like, okay.
I'm good for another year.
But honestly,
funny.
I had already accepted that
they
were going, and so it was okay. So then look what I got. I just get this bonus of joy, right? I get another year.
That's cool. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. So it's like enjoying them, like you said. Enjoy this person while they're in front of you. Enjoy this moment with them. And know that you're just going to get to create different things.
It just changes.
Yeah.
It's the same. It just changes and gets better.
Yeah. Accept, adapt. Like that's what year 5 is all about, is acceptance and being able to adapt and just be in a place of allowing, mm-hmm. so that we're not in great resistance, because when we're literally only hurting ourselves. The more angry you are cutting minutes and hours off of your own joy.
Yeah. Well, you're pissed off and you're sitting in your basement for 3 days mad at your friends. That's 3 days that you're just pissed.
Oh, mad over things you've no power.
Yeah.
I have no power over what my kid does. She's 27. Mm-hmm. Hello.
Yeah.
She's 27. I have no power over her.
Right. My son's 18. I have no power. I mean, he's in our house right now, so I have a little power. But if he wanted to leave today and go get an apartment, he could go do that. Right. I couldn't stop him.
Would you? And then when you really think about it, would you want to?
No. Mm-mm.
I know.
No, I wouldn't want. I know. I want him if I could. No, I could not. I wouldn't want to, because I would be, just like I'm sure, like with your daughter, you would be taking experiences away from them.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, because then her and her fiance and their daughter, your granddaughter, what a story they're going to be able to tell when she's 5 or 6, 7, 8, 10 years old. Say, well, you know what we did? Well, you were 2 years old. We lived in a van, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd be taking those experiences away from the family.
And it's not, and those aren't for me to decide. Like me trying to control her. Mm-hmm. I'm just robbing her of my acceptance, right? I'm robbing her of unconditional love because I'm putting conditional. You can't leave or you'll hurt me. Oh, thanks for the guilt.
Right. Exactly. Because then you do it, then all of a sudden you're hurting your mom.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then she's wearing that around, and then I've created this place inside of her where she feels like she's being controlled.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to be controlled?
No.
So paying attention to that. And then when you find that you feel like someone is trying to control you, you just have to hold those boundaries. And that comes back to those beliefs again, and being able to tell your parents no, and going your way that you want to go. And maybe if they love you, they have to deal with themselves. It really has nothing to do with you. Your parents being mad that you want to be this and that's not what they wanted for you.
That's on them.
That is absolutely their issue. 100%. So knowing what's yours and what's not yours, becoming self-aware, that's where it starts.
Okay. Well, Dana, you're awesome. Thank you for coming in. So where can people find you if they haven't already checked out your site?
Well, I'm not huge on websites, but you can find me. You can text me directly at 402-960-0624, or you can email me at Dana, DANAUCAMP @gmail.com, and we can set up a time to talk or come in. Talk about, I have other services I offer as well that are also frequency. Mm-hmm. So they can call and contact me about finding out more about that as well. I'm always here. Let me know if you need me.
And you're back with us next month, every month.
Yeah.
Love having you in. Thanks. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you found the studio finally. This is all about self-acceptance.
Yeah.
You guys have a great day. Thanks for listening to our podcast.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.